And they're going to help us learn a little bit about a business sector that often gets overlooked when we talk about unemployment for the displaced worker. This sector, new startups and emerging firms, offers some viable opportunities for the automotive talent, especially those with technical skills like engineers, who might be capable of launching their own businesses and particularly get into an entrepreneurial type venture. Now, as Kristen mentioned earlier, the current reality is that the new auto industry will only need a portion of the labor force that it once had. Some of those displaced workers will need to be find new and challenging opportunities elsewhere in the workforce. Now, whether it's with companies in the green economy or other small emerging businesses, the great news is that opportunities are on the increase. Now, before we start, I just want to give you a sense of what, when I say small companies, what that really means. Those are companies that have employers less than 500. Now, those small businesses currently employ about half the private sector workforce and have been the main engines of U.S. job creation for over the past 15 years, generating more than 64% of all net new jobs. So like their larger brethren, the small businesses, though, they've also had to cut back substantially during this last recession. But they are changing, and they're changing fast. Consider this. According to a quarterly survey from the CEO Confidence Index, 54% of the CEOs at small companies plan to add headcount over the next 12 months. And that's a marked increase from 46% back in September. Meanwhile, the National Federation of Independent Businesses reported that its members have already stepped up hiring in February and March to the levels not seen since 2007. And ADP, the payroll company, reported that so far this year, companies with fewer than 500 employees have added an average of 188,000 jobs per month. Last year, they averaged around 68,500, so that's a threefold increase in 1 year. And companies with fewer than 50 employees hired 117,000 people last month. In just 1 month, that's the biggest surge since 2006. Now, these numbers are not what economists consider healthy, but they are an improvement. And hiring by the nation's small employees is accelerating. And this is a sign, I think, that the stubbornly slow job recovery is finally starting to turn the corner and get some traction. Another tool that we in the LMI profession are using, this is something we use to gauge the workforce demand, is a data series that's kind of new to us. It's something that has to do with the online job boards that are posting jobs online. Currently, we use the Conference Board and Wanted Analytics that develops a data series called Help Wanted Online. And what this series does, it scrapes the job boards of some 1,500 online postings, or online job boards, so that's postings from all those job boards. And then they go through a process of unduplicating the jobs and putting them in various categories, of which they give us, the states, the information. So for the tri-state area of Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana, this last quarter, from January to March, we had an increase of 10% in the number of online job ads. Now, if you look at just last month alone, that equals to 350,000 online jobs for this region. That also equates to an increase of some 37% from last year at this time. So you can see for this region, the tri-state region, we have also been part of this national trend of job opportunities and this increase in availability of jobs, job postings. So with that as a backdrop, I would like to bring up our panelists to offer you their insight and characterization of the firms and their workforce needs for this sector. And after that, as in all the other sessions, we'll also have some time at the end for question and answers. The cards are on the table, and they'll be able to collect those at the end, and we'll go through some questions. Our first speaker is Amy Sell. Now, Amy serves as Senior Vice President of Talent Enhancement for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. She directs talent programs to support attraction and retention, economic gardening, and entrepreneurship. Ms. Sell was previous Vice President, Talent Enhancement and Entrepreneurial Education at Ann Arbor Spark, where she created the talent function for Spark and launched a number of innovative programs to help support growing innovation-based companies and startups. Ms. Sell also worked as a CPA for Plant Moran and launched the Office of Student Law for the Ross School of Business. She spent 10 years in a variety of human resource roles at Ford Motor Company and Stanford Research Institute, Applied Biosystems, and co-founded the consulting partnership HR Drivers, based in the Silicon Valley. Ms. Sell holds a BBA and MBA from the University of Michigan. Will you please welcome Amy Sell.